So good day again, class. So we will be tackling now the part two of your pertinent laws for the practice for P2. Okay. So basically, we do have your RA 9275, which is the Philippine Clean Water Act of 2004. So based on this, okay, the RA 9275 is a landmark on environmental law in the Philippines that aim at protecting the country's water bodies, okay, from pollution enacted, okay, previously March 22, 2004, and this act provides a comprehensive framework for the management and conservation of water resources to ensure their sustainability for future generations. So basically, this just prevents those factories and individuals to pollute water sources. Or this could be a potent potent damage to the future generation as to the sources of their potable water. When you say potable, again, it could be it is a safe to drink water, potable. Okay, so it has a 36 sections and 3 articles on organized in 7 chapters. So this covers various aspects of water quality, management, pollution control, and even the enforcement of it. And who is the author of this law? It was authored by Senator Lauren Legarda. Okay. She is a strong advocate for environmental protection. That's why most of her laws that crafted was um, about environmental law. And the approval date was March 22, 2004. It was signed by, again, President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo since this is her term. So a technique on remembering the law and who signed it into law was who is the president seated during that time, or who is the elected president that time. Okay, and the Congress where it passed was the 12th Congress, and also the Congress almost same with the same president because the Congress, okay, changes every 6 years. Okay, so what are the objectives of your RA 9275? So it provides protection of water bodies wherein the law aims to protect and preserve the quality of country's water bodies. Okay, this includes in rivers, lakes, and coastal areas from pollution. So not only um those areas that are now seen as polluted, but also those possible areas that could be polluted in the future. So that is another one to be protected. Okay. Then pollution prevention and control. So the law provides for the preservation, control, and abatement of a pollution from land-based sources. So such as okay, industrial, agriculture, and domestic activities. So what are this industrial, agriculture, and domestic activities? So for the industrial, the um the waste product or the waste management. Okay, so where does the drainage will be going off? Okay, where the companies will throw their trash or their excrements. Okay, on agricultural, where does these fishes, okay, are being nurtured, okay, populated, and even domestic activities, the swimming, okay, the tourist spots. So could it be a pertinent part of the pollution in water? So that is being controlled, okay, by this law. And then it aims to, okay, for the provision of sustainable water resource management, wherein the law promotes the sustainable use of water resources to ensure their availability for future generation use. So kung ano lang yung dapat gamitin, yun lang. Kaya nga, no, nauso yung save water, shower together. Okay? Yung mga ganyan. So, definition of terms, again, I just put some of the definition of terms. Okay, so water pollution, of course, introduction of contaminants into water bodies that harm living organism or impair the beneficial use of water. Kaya nga, ano, minsan, paano ba natin naka-quantify? Paano natin nasasabi that water is already polluted? If the living things or the living organism decrease in number, excuse me, decrease in number in that area, or okay, there is no living organism in that area. Okay, that is one of a sign Or kaya naman, there is some changes as to the environmental landscape. Okay? Then point source pollution, the pollution that comes from single identifiable source such as a pipe or a factory, wherein this is concerned with the industrial pollution. Non-point source pollution, wherein the pollution comes off from diffuse sources such as agricultural runoff or urban storm water, wherein this cannot be okay, this cannot be controlled. Then effluent standard, the maximum allowable level of pollutants that can be discharged into water bodies, because no, we don't have any disposal area for our waste most of the time, especially the liquid type. Case that's why they still put drainage into the ocean or into the water bodies, but those drainage are being monitored and okay quantified as to its pollutant pollutant content, or can cause how much pollution into the water bodies. Then water quality management area, or WQMA. This is a designated area where water quality is managed to achieve specific environmental objective. So what are the provisions of this law? Okay, the law establishes water quality standards to protect public health and environment. So as to our practice, we are some of the medtechs are water analysts, and as for that, we also okay uphold the safe water. Okay, as to is it potable? Okay, are there any organism living in there? Okay, so these standards are enforced by our DNR. Okay, they manage this law. Okay, discharge permits. Okay, all facilities that discharge water waste into the water bodies are required to obtain discharge permit from the DENR, and the permit specifies that the allowable levels of pollutants and monitoring requirement. So, anong meron? In order for you to discharge your waste, okay, water waste into the bodies of water in the Philippines, you need to get a clearance from the DENR. And that's why, the Boracay was closed since most of their waterways are not okay permitted by the DENR, or it is not being monitored properly. Okay, the wastewater charges. The law imposes wastewater charges on facilities that discharge pollutants okay into water bodies. So the fee are used to fund quality water management programs. So if you are dumping your waste products to the water bodies, you need to pay some amount. So yun ang sinabi. And the WQMA, okay, the DNR is authorized to designate okay, QMAs in critical polluted and threatened water bodies. Okay, a governing board is established for each QMA to oversee its management. So, for example, just like the action of the DNR, this is just like a branch that monitors a smaller area. Okay, in order for them to have a quality monitoring. Then pollution control technologies. The law requires industries to adopt best available control technologies to minimize pollution and comply with effluent standards. So um, they need okay to check when or the quality of water that they discharge, is it too much pollutant content, okay, so or they need to innovate as to their monitoring level. Okay, next, public participation. So this law encouraged the public participation in water quality management through established multi-sectoral water quality control, water quality management council, wherein, no, for example, in Manila, so they do have that, and they monitor the esteros. Okay, that's why no in esteros no meron mga naglilinis doon. Okay, meron talaga silang tagabantay. Okay, then penalties and violation, of course, fines and imprisonment or even closure of the non-compliance facility. So what are the impacts of your RA 9275? So It improves the water quality. Okay, the law has led to significant improvement in the quality of what water bodies through stricter regulation and enforcement. Of course, if there is a law, you should follow. That's why most of the Filipinos are now following the this law as to the discharge of waterways. Because of I think that the one that pushes this through was the Pasig River because of its very polluted water. Okay. Then, increase public awareness. So the law raised public awareness about the importance of protecting water resources and even preventing pollution. Of course, nowadays, no Filipinos are more aware how to dispose their waste, when to doing cleaning drives in the waterways or even in the baywalks, in improving or helping to lessen or to reduce the pollution found in our water. Then, enhance industrial compliance. Industries have been compelled to adopt cleaner technologies and practice to comply with effluent standards. So as I said, no, kailangan nila mag-adapt kung paano nila imo-monitor yung water waste nila. And strengthen institutional framework wherein the establishment of WQMA and governing boards has strengthened the institutional framework for water quality management. And this one no, provides protection to our bodies of water. So, the RA 9275 is a vital piece of legislation that underscored the Philippines' commitment to protect its water resources by promoting pollution prevention, sustainable management, and even public participation. So, the law aims to ensure the availability of the clean and safe water for present and future generation. However, of course, there are challenges remain in the implementation, including the need for stricter enforcement and great public awareness because most companies are still doing discharge to the water body is not being monitored, or not compliant as to what is being said by the DENR. And as a citizen, it is your responsibility to support efforts to protect and conserve our water resources. Of course, this is also for our future use. So next is the RA 10912, known as the Continuing Professional Development Act of 2016. So the CPD law, the very controversial CPD law. Okay, so this Republic Act 10912, also known as the CPD law or CPD Act of 2016. So this law aimed at promoting a lifelong learning, no big word, lifelong learning and competency of professionals. So this was enacted way back on July 21, 2016, and this law mandates the participation of professionals, in CPD program to ensure their knowledge and skills remain relevant and up to date to their respective fields. So still, no, this is very controversial because only professionals are being required to have CPD. What if your profession doesn't require you a license? So this is a dilemma. So if your profession doesn't require a license, you do not need to have a lifelong learning because no law requires you to do so. And lifelong learning, until pagtanda mo, magte-take ka ng CPD, yun ang sinasabi nila, in order for you to practice your profession. So the 1091-2 consists of 19 sections and 4 articles, that outline the responsibilities, and guidelines for implementing the CPD law. This was authored by Senator Antonio Sani Trillanes D. Fort. So, with co-authorship, of course, of his fellow senators. So, approval date, July 21, 2016. It was signed into law by President Benigno S. Aquino III. And it was passed, during the 16th Congress. But this is very controversial since this was not really passed by the Senate or the House of Representatives because this law just lapsed. It lapsed into law. They forgotten it to have a reading. That's why this just became an actual law because of that. So they had the first reading, they didn't proceed into second or third, meaning no, if there is no objection or there is no objection, another reading, the law will be lapse. Okay? Bigla na lang siya magiging batas kasi wala naman nag-object sa kanya. Wala namang bumasa sa kanya na may mali siya. Okay? Kaya, automatic, magiging batas. Okay? And the CPD requirement for an RMT, okay, you need 45 units for renewal. So, you need 15 each year because every renewal is every 3 years on your birth date. Okay? On your birth date. So, the first renewal do not require any CPD unit. So, for example, you just passed the board exam. The first renewal that you will do after 3 years doesn't require you any CPD units. But the following renewal that you will have, you need to acquire 45. Okay? But as of now, as to the PRC amendment or PRC memorandum, we are just require as of now 15 units. Then next year, 2026, it will be 30. And the next year, 2027, 45 na. Full implementation na. Okay? So what are the objectives of year 1091-2? The law aims to promote continuous learning and professional growth among Filipino professional because, no, bakit nila ito pinasa? Actually, this is not the first law requiring us to have a lifelong learning. We do have also the CPE. Okay, CPE law na continuing professional education naman. But that one doesn't require you to have continuous education in order for you to renew your license. Okay, parang sinasabi lang niya na dapat i-continue niyo yung pag-acquire ng information, updated information as to your profession. But now, this is required by the law. Okay, that you need the CPD units in order for you to renew your license to practice. So, ano ba yung continuous life learning? Kasi nga daw, yung mga Filipino, basta nagka-lisensya na sila, okay, ayaw na nilang mag-proceed into anything or ayaw na nilang i-improve yung knowledge nila as to their practice. Okay? And this was very very common seen in your public institution because okay, since plantilla na sila, when you say plantilla in government, ano ka na doon? Permanent. So kahit ugating ka na, hindi ka na matatanggal basta-basta unless ethical issue. Okay? Or criminal case, ganon. So, for example, okay, in the government, I have seen, no, institution when I was working in the government na sobrang tanda na, nakatungkod na, naka-wheelchair na, pero nasa gobyerno pa rin. And, pag tinanong mo sila, ano lang sila? RMT lang sila. Okay, hindi naman sila nila lang yung RMT, but, no, they don't have any additional education or any improvement into their education. Okay? Because they are already RMT. At hindi naman sila ni-require ng law. That's why this law, okay, requires you now to improve your practice. Kaya I have seen a lot of medtechs ngayon nagte-take na master degree, okay? Or even PhD degree. So we do have naman. Okay, because it could also be equivalent to CPD units. For example, one master degree, okay, complete master degree is equivalent to one renewal. Okay, one renewal. Okay, so for example, ako, I have my MD, I have my master. Do I need any CPD requirement? Actually, no. Kasi nga, I am still in education. So, yung master ko, pwede ko pang gamitin in renewing. Yung MD ko, pwede ko pang gamitin. So, dalawang renewal pa yung meron ako. Okay? Mga ganon. So, yung iba, iniipon na nila yung ganon nila. Pero ang tanong, pwede mo bang gamitin yung CPD mo na naipon ngayon sa susunod? Pagka kunyari, lumagpas ka ng 45 o for this cycle, renewal of this season. So, within 3 years, na-accumulate ka ng 56, sabihin mo. Pwede mo bang gamitin yung 11 na excess sa susunod na renewal? Hindi na. Forfeited na yon. Kaya dapat sakto lang 45 or 46, mga ganun lang. Hindi pwedeng sumobra kasi pangit. Kasi wala na siyang wenta after that. Okay? Ano pang meron? Competence and relevance. So your RA 1091-2 ensures that professional maintain and enhances their competency to keep competence to keep up with global standard and achievement in their field. That's why in the practice of medical technology, they are now institutionalizing the specialization for our field. No, meron ng specialized in blood banking that will be noted after your name, or that would be a certification also. It is not just that you are practicing for more than something ganito in order for you to be um, noted as a blood bank specialist. No, hindi ganon. So, meron yung certification na mangyayari. And that is equivalent to level 7 into the globalization leveling. So, level 7 na daw yun pag may specialization. Again, ang leveling system nyo, pagka level 6, that is a bachelor's graduate. Okay? Level 7 is a license. Sorry. Yeah. Bachelor's graduate, level 6. So, pagka nagka-license ka, I think it's level 7. Pag nagkaroon ka ng master degree or any specialization, that is level 8. And the highest level is level 9, which is PhD or doctorate degree. Okay. So, yan. Then, public protection. By requiring CPD, the law ensures that professional provides high-quality services, thereby protecting the public from substandard practice. So, yun daw. Paano kung, for example, the medical profession, they don't have any sources kasi mahal ang CPD seminar. So, pwede kayo magpa-sponsor, lalo na pagka yung laboratory is dun kumukuha mainly ng reagent. So, I know many medtechs that they do that na nagpapasponsor sila. Okay, definition of terms. Okay, the law provides clear definition of key terms. Okay, so konti lang din yung kinuha ko. So the CPD, or the continuing professional development. Okay, the inculcation of advanced knowledge, skill, and ethical values in post-licensure specialization in an inter or multidisciplinary field of study or assimilation into professional practice. Kaya nga the PRC and the Board of Medical Technology are thinking of providing us a specialization in order for us not to be required to take the CPE for some period of time. Okay, the CPD Council, a body created under the Professional Regulation Commission to oversee the implementation of the CPD for each profession. So, sino ulit ang nag-regulate ng CPD? It's your PRC. Specifically, the CPD Council under PRC. Okay, the CPD credit unit, a value assigned to an activity or program that measures the participation of professional in CPD activity. So, sino nagbibigay ng CPD units? Or, for example, our institution, for example, PAMET, yan. Sa isang seminar nila, ilang CPD units ang ibibigay. Sino magde-decide nun? Si PRC pa rin. I-evaluate nila ano yung content ng lectures, ilang oras, and then sila mag-specify kung ano yung units na may earn mo, kung ilan yun. Next is professional. Any person who has been registered and issued a valid professional license by the PRC. So, kanino lang siya applicable? Those individual with license to practice. Okay? And accredited CPD provider, an institution or organization authorized by the CPD Council to offer CPD programs and activities. So, for example, ako, St. Jude, I am an institutional education institution. Pwede ba ako magbigay ng CPD program? No. You need to register, okay, as a CPD provider at may application fee yun, may whatsoever, madaming process yan. In order for you to provide, okay, CPD programs. And, kunyari, CPD provider ka na, every seminar mo will be subjected to the PRC evaluation. So, hindi lahat ng seminar na pinapasa for CPD na aaprobahan for CPD. Okay, I have encountered that when I am with PAMET Rizal na one of our activity was not accepted for CPD units. Even though we applied for it about 2 times kasi may revision, may revision, ganyan. Pero until that, hindi pa rin nila inaprubahan for any CPD units. Next, key provisions of your RA 9019 90912. Okay? The mandatory CPD participation. No? All professionals are required to complete certain number of CPD units. Again, for MedTech, you need 45 as a condition for renewal of their professional identification card or your PIC. And the CPD Council, the law, establishes the council under the PRC to develop and implement the CPD program tailored to the need of each profession. Para siyang dangerous drug board. So they provide you policies, okay, and regulation as to what will be, okay, or what to follow for your CPD requirements. Next, accreditation of CPD provider. The law provides the accreditation of institution and organization that offer CPD program to ensure quality and relevance. So same, si sino yung nagpo-provide niyan, that is your CPD Council under PRC. Exemption. Certain professionals may be exempted to the CPD requirements due to reasons such as health, retirement, or uh, other valid circumstance as determined by the PRC. So for example, 75 years old ka na, or the retirement age in the Philippines is 60. So 60 ka na, you are retired. Okay? But you still practice medical technology. Are you required? So sometimes hindi na. Okay? Usually hindi na. Pero if you want to, okay lang naman. Okay, penalties for non-compliance. Of course, professional who fail to comply with CPD requirement may face penalty including non-renewal of their professional license. So wala pa naman ako nariringgan na hindi nakakapag-renew due to this kasi nag-pandemic, 'di ba? Inisyu siya 2016. 2019, simula na 'yan. Okay, simula na ng requirement ng CPD. Binabaan nila into 15. Okay? So, daming lumabas sa CPD provider. Tapos, nagkaroon ng pandemic. So, natigil. So, natigil yung requirement ng CPD. Ngayon lang ulit siya binalik. Okay? Pero as of now, still 15 pa rin muna yung require natin. Muna. Okay, next year will be 30 and next year will be 45. The funding and support. Okay, the law encourage the government and private sector to provide financial and logistical support to the CBD program. Kaya yung mga CPD programs or CPD seminars, CPD activities, merong bayad bago kayo makapag-take. Okay, bibihira yung free CPD. So, impact of your RA 1091-2. So, enhance professional competence. So, the law has encouraged professionals to continuously update their knowledge and skills, ensuring their competence in their respective fields. No, of course, no, sabi nga natin, lifelong learning. Improve service quality by requiring CPD. The law has contributed to the delivery of high quality services to the public. As to the updating of the techniques, okay, the services that could be possibly seen in the practice, pwede yung ganun. And global competitiveness. So the law has helped Filipino professionals remain competitive in global market by aligning their skills with international standards. Okay? And again, your RA 1091-2, okay, is an important of lifelong learning and professional development in the Philippines. By mandating this law, no, it ensures that the professional maintain their competence, relevance in their field, ultimately benefiting the public and the nation. However, again, you do have challenges in the implementation, including the need for greater accessibility for affordable CPD programs kasi nga medyo mahal, pricey, lalo na pag malaki yung CPD. As a professional, it is our responsibility to embrace continuous learning and contribute to the advancement of our respective fields. So, yun. Again, no, you don't stop just with your bachelor's degree, with your license. You need to pursue your um, updating of your information. So that's all.